What up, peeps? Saturday's Christmas. I wanted to add to that scouting video I did last week by this. You know, Jason really opened my eyes this year, my buddy Jason, and I was attacking these places when I was scouting them, and he wasn't too long ago we were out, and we went into this corner, and the corner was loaded with rubs. I mean, just the whole place was torn up, and on the one side it was all rubbed up, and then not the point, but then the other side, about the same distance, it was all tore up with rubs. And I went in there. I said, "Hey, Jace, let's go check that out. See if we can find some beds." He says, "You're not going to find no beds in there. He's probably popping all over the place." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Bob, we're in the big woods." He says, "These deer are not going to have well-defined beds." He says, "Look how big that corner is." And I'm like, wow, it popped. I said, "Okay." And he said, "That deer is going to bed on that side with this wind, this side with this wind, over here on this wind, over here on this wind." The whole thing is, when is he bedding there? Not why or how or where is he bedding in there. He is bedding in there. It's when he's bedding in there. So when you guys, scout, don't be like me in the last few years and look for these wore down to the dirt beds. They're not going to be there in these woods types areas, and especially in a drier area, pines. They're there, but they're probably rare where I hunt. These deer are going in, and he might be bedding over here on this wind, this over here, over here, over here, on all different winds. But he's ill in that same point or corner or bowl or whatever. So don't get caught up in that. Here's a map, and I'll show you what I'm saying here. All right, guys. Here's your example. This is a corner, right? This sets up for perfect buck bedding, man. It really does. And over here was a lot of rubs, and on this side too. Me and Jason were scouting this. Notice I never even walk out into these open woods. I'm always scouting these transitions here, all these edges and transitions. I might even scout up this road to see where they're crossing. This is a great road it's a dirt road, so you can see where they're crossing. And so anyway, the other, not too long ago, me and Jason were out scouting, and we found this corner, and we wanted to check it out. And boom, right away we seen rubs, a big rub cluster on this side, a big rub cluster on this side, and that's when I said, "Hey, Jace, let's go in here and try to find some beds." And he said, "Bob, it's not going to set up like that." He's going to say that you're not going to find real defined beds in there. You might find some pressed down pine needles or a little bit of pressed down leaves or something, but you're probably not going to find a well-defined bed, because he could be over here one day, over here one day, over here one day, here, and you get it, etc. So depending on all these winds, this buck could bed on here in so many different winds. So that's what you need to start going into these bedding areas to check them out. Don't look for the well-established beds, the worn down to the dirt or the mud. That's more of a marsh situation, I would think, or a swamp situation. So at least where I'm at and what we've been finding, I'm trying to find more buck bedding areas. I mean, you're going to see poop. You're going to see a big trail coming through here, a lot of scat in here and stuff like that. That means that that's a bedding area. So there will be deer sign, but there won't be well beat down beds in these. So just remember that. I think a lot of guys get caught up in looking for beat down beds, and you can't. Look at the area instead of the beds. That's a pretty good area too. But there needs to be a couple things, like I said, for a more older animal, more mature buck to bed there. He wants to see out in front of him. He wants the wind over his back most of the time, and he wants thick to the back. He wants to be almost nothing could get from behind him, I guess. It's almost like the wind and thick to the back is going to cover his butt. And, a lot of times they'll have an extra trail through that thick, though. If he sees something coming, he's going to jump out and go. He's going to go, or he's going to go to the side. But it's thick, but it's not thick. It's so thick. Like these guys, some of these guys say, "Oh yeah, these bucks will go through walls of." No, they're not. If you can't fit, they can't fit their horns through that. They're not going to go through there. They're not going to take a chance of getting all tangled up and put themselves out there. They're not stupid, man. They're going to go through where they can get through without much trouble. I mean, they might dodge a little bit or hit the sides with their horns and stuff, but these guys with these big horns, man, they're not going through these little these walls of briars like people think. They can't. So keep that in your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to try to get out this week and do some more, and I have 6 more cameras to get out, and I'm going to try to do some hunting after Christmas, so we'll see. I start a new job on January 3rd, so that's going to really put my hunting probably only a few days a week, so we'll see, man. But thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and as usual, subscribe and like to the Bucksack. Peace!